Thank you, Cathaoirleach, and I'd just like to thank the deputies all who've contributed today and welcome the fact that you've all welcomed and indicated that you're going to support this bill. As I said at the outset, this bill is urgent and it gives the ministers, both ministers, the power to sign agreements, an agreement with the European Investment Fund by the end of the year for the purpose of launching the Future Growth Loan Scheme in early 2019. And it is a key Brexit mitigation measure, but there's been a couple of overarching observations and concerns. And I suppose, just with regard to Deputy Bruen, the government has been actively promoting relevant support. You've referenced some of them yourself to the Getting Ireland Brexit Ready roadshow that has taken place at a number of locations. With relevant government agencies, we're all present to provide information and support. So over 3,000 businesses have completed the EI Brexit scorecard at this stage. And just to say that the budget in itself for 2019 provided over 110 million for additional Brexit preparedness resources and initiatives across the departments. The Department of Agriculture is funding an additional 98 additional staff for the agencies and regulatory bodies with the remit to date to prepare Irish businesses to be Brexit ready, and we're providing an extra 8 million in 2019 for the department as well as the agencies and regulatory bodies to continue their work on a Brexit response in an increasing global footprint. In other words, we're funding extra resources across the globe for market diversification, and indeed we have done quite an extensive, both Minister Humphreys and myself were in China recently. Minister Creed took a delegation to Malaysia and Indonesia with Enterprise Ireland, the IDA board BIA accompanying us on those occasions. Just with regard to the owners being two owners, I suppose just to make the point initially that this scheme is meant to be up to 500,000 no security, unsecured, over up to 200,000 no additional business plan, over 200 to 500 a business plan forms part of the application. So it's relatively easy. So at the same time you have to make sure that we don't have the PAC saying in a couple of years you lent money to somebody, it wasn't properly, due diligence wasn't done over the applicant and the money went astray. So I suppose you have to balance that. But it's interesting to know that the SBCI conducted a one-to-one interviews with 22 applicants. They all had a very positive opinion on the application process, and the qualifying. It shows that the majority of applicants are receiving eligibility confirmation within 24 hours. And I suppose if I was just to go to some of the other stats on it, we've had 307 applications, 270 are eligible to apply for the loan, 30 applications are still being processed, and at the end of November 55 companies had received sanction for loans of 13 million, and many more of the approved applications are going through the bank process at the moment. And just on the Exchequer funding for this scheme is 62 million because the loans are for 10 years or more. And I think, just going back to Deputy Kelleher's point about this not displacing or replacing existing credit that the banks would provide, a couple of points on that are that the banks provide typically 3 to 7 year funding financing for companies that would qualify for this. This is about funding for 7 to 10 years. So it's a different it's a different product in the beginning, in the first instance. It doesn't have the same security, up to 500,000, it doesn't have the same security requirements that a conventional loan. So in many ways it might be competing, but it isn't allowed to replace an existing finance, an existing loan that's already a company has. So those are, I think, important to bear those in mind. But I do take the point that we have to be careful to make sure. So, and the other thing to make the point is that the interest rate typically will be lower than what's available on the market, and no refinancing is allowed. I think I made that point. And also, at the end of the day, the Credit Review Office is available to businesses who wish to have their application for a loan reviewed if it's refused by a bank. So just going back on the other point, I suppose, we're asking people to do something different here. It's not business as usual. It's about businesses allowing them the opportunity to borrow for periods between 8 and 10 years for where they see their business needs to go to, with the aid and assistance of the various different agencies, whether it's Bord Bia, who have put in a lot of extra resources in support getting Brexit ready, EI and indeed the local enterprise office. So all of the statutory state agencies that are there to support businesses are available to mentor and continue to do so with the various SMEs and agri-food producers and businesses. So it's a scheme that will assist businesses who are trying to strategically invest in a post-Brexit environment by providing the opportunity to borrow for the 8 to 10 years, as I said, to support long-term capital investment, which is something that's not readily available at the moment. So we want to provide business with the opportunity to invest and to allow them to prosper and remain competitive by diversifying their business. So it's important in this way. And it's an effective use, as has been said already, of exchequer funding, as it means 62 million can be leveraged using the EIF counter guarantee to unlock funding for businesses of up to 300 million with the 64% guarantee. The bill will give members the necessary powers, the necessary powers to enter into the agreement with the EIF and implement the future loan, growth loan scheme, which is a key component of the government's response. And together with other initiatives such as the Brexit loan scheme and many others supports available through the agencies, we are helping the businesses to face their Brexit challenges and overcome them. So I think I've covered all queries that I can see notes on. The Minister for Finance is maybe the more appropriate on your final question, Deputy person to answer. But I'd like to commend the bill, thank all the members, and we will take notes and reflect on the contributions of all the members here this afternoon. Thank you.